that line between protector and controller just dissolves.
And then his other powers feed into it.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we are jumping straight into a really significant piece of lore, the prequel story, Darkstalker. Power, prophecy, and friendship. Our goal here really is to pull out the essential understanding from this story. We're focusing on, the nature of immense power, what happens when using it literally corrodes your morals, and that whole struggle with destiny. And we're specifically using the graphic novel version by Jake Parker. The visual storytelling really helps grasp these huge ideas.
Right. And this story is just crucial if you're following the main Pyrrhia timeline. It's not just some side quest. This is set way, way back, thousands of years before the main books. So the choices made here, especially around this unique magic, they basically set the stage for everything. Huge consequences that echo down through millennia, shaping tribes, politics, everything.
Okay, so let's get right into it then. To understand the stakes, we have to talk about the magic system. What's the core element in Pyrrhia?
Well, Pyrrhia itself is diverse, right? You got all these different dragon tribes, NightWings, IceWings, Sea-Wings, Sky-Wings, each with their own culture, their own abilities.
Distinct groups.
But the thing that looms over all of them, or at least the potential for it, is animus magic. It's rare, and frankly, it's terrifying to most dragons.
And this isn't just like throwing fireballs. Animus magic is reality warping.
Exactly. An animus dragon can enchant objects, perform almost any feat they can imagine. They can literally bend reality. Think about ultimate power. But that's precisely why it's so feared. There's a catch, a huge one, and it's central to the whole moral core of this story.
The cost. We mentioned moral decay, but let's be super clear. It's not like they choose to pay a price, is it?
No, absolutely not. And that's the terrifying genius of how it works. Using animus magic has this built-in corrosive cost. Every single time an animus uses their power, the act itself twisting reality, it chips away at their soul.
Chips away.
It erodes their empathy, their moral compass. The price isn't something external they sacrifice. The price is themselves. It's like the path to tyranny is almost hardwired into the magic.
So it's less that Darkstalker chooses evil, and more that the very act of using his power pushes him that way by literally diminishing his capacity for good with each spell. Wow, that makes the tragedy feel almost unavoidable.
Which brings us straight to the three central figures caught in this mess. Three friends, right? And their fates are all tangled up in this dangerous magic.
At the center, of course, is Darkstalker. His background alone is unusual Nightwing mother, IceWing father. That was almost unheard of.
The source of conflict right there.
Definitely. But the really extraordinary part is how he hatched under 3 full moons, a very rare event.
And that gave him powers right from the start.
2 huge ones, yeah. Prophetic future sight and mind reading. He could see what was coming and hear what everyone was thinking.
And then he develops animus magic. So he has all 3. He does. The first dragon known to have that combination: foresight, mind reading, and reality-bending power. He can see the paths, know the thoughts, and change the world to fit his desires. The ultimate potential, you could say.
Okay, so he's the power. Then you have Clearsight. She's his counterpoint, embodying that struggle against fate you mentioned.
Exactly. Clearsight's a Nightwing seer too, but her future sight isn't just one clear path. It's described like watching this impossibly complex branching tree of countless futures, all shifting, all possible every single second.
That sounds paralyzing.
It is. She's essentially the story's moral compass, but her power is this immense burden. She's constantly wrestling with just the sheer volume of what she sees, trying to nudge things towards better outcomes, while also trying to just live her life, be present with her friends, especially Darkstalker, who she loves.
It must be incredibly difficult. If you see 100 bad futures and only one potentially good one, that one path becomes everything, right? It forces your hand in terrifying ways.
Absolutely. And that pressure leads us to the third member of this trio, Fathom. He's a seeing prince, and he's also an animus.
Another animus, okay.
Yeah, but he's different. He's brought in specifically to help guide Darkstalker, maybe restrain him. Fathom is basically a living cautionary tale. He saw the cost of the magic firsthand. It destroyed someone close to him, and he swore never to use his own powers again.
Wait, so they bring in someone who's terrified of the power, who swore it off, to mentor the most powerful animus potentially ever. Doesn't that seem incredibly risky? Like putting a recovering addict in charge of a bar? You're putting Fathom in an impossible position too.
That's part of the tragedy, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're desperate. Clearsight and the other Nightwings see the potential disaster Darkstalker represents, and Fathom seems like the only hope. But yeah, it puts this unbearable weight on him. He represents that constant tension, self-control versus the temptation or even the perceived necessity of using power. He's always wondering if he has to break his vow to stop Darkstalker.
Okay, so let's trace that descent. How does Darkstalker start to slide? Because the graphic novel really shows this visually. It starts with good intentions, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Initially, his motivations seem quite noble. He wants to protect his mother, who's having a hard time. He sees the ancient conflict brewing between the NightWings and IceWings, this deep-seated hatred, and he genuinely wants to prevent a catastrophic war. He wants harmony.
Sounds reasonable. So where does the magic's cost start to twist things? Can you give an example?
We'll take that peacemaking goal. Instead of, say, difficult diplomacy or building trust over time, which is hard, the animus magic offers a shortcut. It's irresistible. So instead of negotiation, he starts enchanting objects. Maybe something to make dragons feel trust, or subtly manipulate events behind the scenes to force an outcome he thinks is best.
He's removing their free will, essentially.
Precisely. And the moment he starts using magic to solve these complex social or political problems, that's where the erosion really kicks in. His empathy for the individuals he's manipulating starts to fade. He sees them less as dragons with their own lives, and more as, well, pieces on a game board. Pieces he needs to move for what he decides is the greater good.
Yeah, the moment you start making choices for people, even for their supposed protection, that line between protector and controller just dissolves.
And then his other powers feed into it. His mind reading. It starts to fuel paranoia. He hears doubts, fears, even potential betrayals in others' minds, sometimes real, sometimes maybe just fleeting thoughts.
Oh, that's rough. He can't unhear it.
Exactly. And driven by fear, by pride, by this perceived need to control everything to prevent the bad futures he sees, he starts making bigger, more irreversible enchantments. Acts of control that verge into outright tyranny.
And these aren't just small mistakes. His actions directly escalate the tensions between the NightWings and IceWings, locking them into centuries of conflict that defines the whole world later on.
That's the scale of it. His choices, driven by this corrosive power, have massive long-term geopolitical consequences, which forces Clearsight and Fathom into just a horrifying corner. They're not just watching their friend change.
They're watching him become a potential world-ending threat.
Yes, and they realize his power system basically demands it. So they have to make that awful choice. Loyalty to their friend versus, well, saving everyone else from him.
It's such a powerful setup, and it leads to these really deep themes that resonate way beyond just dragons and magic. Let's unpack those. The first big one is power versus responsibility. Animus magic is almost a perfect, if terrifying, metaphor for any kind of power, political, financial, even great talent that has some kind of hidden self-destructive cost.
Right, but the story makes the responsibility internal part of the power itself. It really forces the question, what good is unlimited power if using it inherently destroys the user? It's like a feedback loop of self-corruption.
Tied right into that is fate versus free will. That's Clearsight's whole struggle, isn't it?
She sees all the possible futures, like holding a map of destiny. But just knowing the potential outcomes doesn't make the choice easy, or even possible sometimes. Especially when the right choice involves betraying someone you love or causing immense suffering in the short term to prevent something worse later.
It's like her foresight becomes its own kind of trap. Every move she makes to avoid a bad future might be the very thing that triggers it. That's just brilliant, tragic writing.
And it flows straight into the third theme, moral ambiguity. Darkstalker isn't, born evil with a mustache to twirl. He's a product of these extraordinary gifts colliding with a fundamentally flawed magical system.
Right.
The story just hammers home how thin that line can be, how easily someone with good intentions, driven by love or fear, can slide into becoming, well, a monster.
Yeah.
The magic doesn't just let him cross the line, it actively dissolves it.
And we can't lose sight of the personal angle. This huge world-shaping conflict is happening within this tight circle of friends. The love, the loyalty between Darkstalker, Clearsight, and Fathom, it's all put through the ringer.
Yeah, the fact that the ultimate act needed to save the world requires them to fundamentally betray their deepest bonds. That's what gives it such an emotional punch.
So let's connect this back for you, the listener. Why is this prequel deep dive so important?
Because Darkstalker's story isn't just backstory, it's the foundation. His actions, his descent, his final fate, they directly lead to the NightWing's isolation, the IceWing's entrenched paranoia, the political landscape, even specific curses and legends that the characters in the main series are still dealing with thousands of years later. His tragedy literally shapes their world.
So, wrapping up our deep dive here, we've looked at this incredibly dangerous, soul-eating magic. The three friends caught in its web power, prophecy, and restraint. And in that fundamental clash between destiny and choice when the system itself seems rigged. It's the foundational disaster that everything else is built on. Okay, here's a final thought for you. Darkstalker could read minds. He knew, sometimes even before they knew, when Clearsight and Fathom started to fear him, to distrust him. Think about this. What's more terrifying about his fall? Was the magic literally eroding his soul, his empathy? Or was it the fact that, with his foresight and mind reading, he could watch himself becoming the monster, see the distrust growing in his friends' minds, and still be unable to stop the internal decay? Which part of that spiral truly gets under your skin?
Grab Darkstalker by Tui T. Sutherland, now on sale, $11.95. Don't miss this chance and build good habits and achieve remarkable results. Buy now today.
Like and subscribe for more Bookhaven podcasts.